All right, Matadors, let's go ahead and do our first program. So we're going to go ahead and do a new program, and this is going to teach you just how to move quickly across the block. We're going to make some stairs on our stock, so I'm going to reset the stock, and I'm going to go to File, New, and the first thing I want to do is put in a percentage sign. That means it's starting the program, and then zero. I'm sorry, O, capital O. And capital O stands for the basically beginning line. And I'm going to call this 0001. And then I'll put parentheses. I'm going to call this step. And remember, when I put something in parentheses, it's not part of the code. Now I'm going to go ahead and open some G code here for you so you can see what I'm trying to get at. G code. And here is a G code reference. And actually you can see as I scroll down, it has all the different cycles, and it kind of explains some of the code. So you're basically with G code, we're going to reference it. And the first thing I want to reference is G17. I want to be working on the XY plane. So when I go back to my CNC motion, my safety line, which is going to be N1, is going to have G17 space. And this is going to be XY. That's the orientation. So we're going to cut on the face of this. Then I want to go ahead and go back to G code. And I want to choose G21. We're going to do this in metric units because metric units are whole numbers, and that makes it a lot easier. So we're going to go back and we're going to go G21. G21. That's going to be metric. So XY plane, metric units, G90, which means we're going to use absolute position from this point 00 as we go across. And then we're going to do M9, M5. For some reason, my 5 got stuck. And so let's take a look at M code real quick. What is the M code? So here we have M code, and M5 is spindle stop. So that makes sure that you do not have the spindle moving, and it's kind of a safety code. And M9 is coolant off. So on our Tormac, we do have coolant. We want to make sure that that's not on. And that's all it's telling you. It's kind of a way of starting the machine safely without, certain things happening that you don't wanna happen. And then G80 also turns off everything. So G80 is another way of making sure you're safe. Now, we're gonna go to N5. We wanna have our lines separated by more than just, one line, like one number at a time. That way, we can always just go ahead and click here at the end and add lines if we need to. So at N5, we wanna go ahead and be at Z1, and we wanna go to Z1, G0, Z1, and that'll lower our tool. That will lower our tool. Then we wanna turn on the spindle, and so we wanna go N10, and we want to go M3, which will turn the spindle on, speed 1500, and the feed will be 40. So we wanna have M3 is turning the spindle on with a speed of 1500 and a feed of M40 as we go down into the part. Now, we're not gonna be in the part yet because we wanna move away from the corner edge. So in N15, we want to go ahead and put in 10, X10, Y10. And that means the tool is gonna move over X10, Y10. In N20, we are now gonna plunge into the part. So we're gonna say go. We don't need it to go. We're gonna hit Z negative 2. Z negative 2. That'll put us into the part. Now, if I put X and Y on the same line, then the tool will go diagonally to that point. But if I put in X and then Y, then on different lines, it'll go horizontally on X and vertically on Y. So I want to go N25 and I want to go over X. I'm already at 10, so I want to go now to X20. And then on line, here I messed up. When we get into the part now, we want to feed twice as much as we plunged. So we want to go F80. So plunging you to be nice to the drill bit, you wanna actually plunge at about half the speed that you're going to actually carve the part. So on line 25, I go X20. On N20 on N30, I'm gonna go Y20. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do M2, and I'm gonna verify this part. M2 means stop. So it's the end of the program. So I could put that on N35. But N35 M2. So it's gonna be it doesn't matter whether you capitalize or not, but I usually have the caps locks on when I wanna do this because it keeps it nice and clean. So now we wanna go ahead and make sure our tool is ready. So we close the lid, we home the device, right? And we click up here to be to the window, to be in the verify screen. There we go. And then behind this should be my program. Program 1. Move this back to like here so I can click between the two and there. So now I will verify and we'll watch it work right there. So it did exactly what it did. It went from X10 to X20, then from Y10 to Y20. We want to do that again. The program has a normal stop. You hit OK. It allows you to come back in. If your program gets locked, go to File, and you can lock it or File, unlock it with a click. So let's get rid of the M2, and let's take another step over. So if we're at X20, now we want to go to X30. X30, and on N40, we want to go to Y30. We're just kind of stepping over. We're going to create steps that go up and down and then come home. So we could go ahead and then put a quick M2 at the bottom of this. You don't have to actually give it a line every time. And now you can verify it as you go across. It's working perfectly. We're going to do this one more time. We'll hit OK. We can now reset our part so we don't have to take a look at that. And now we're going to go N45. We want to go to X40. And then in N50, we want to go to Y40. And again, because we're putting these on separate lines, we are creating the condition where it's only going to go one direction at a time. And then we'll put an M2. And here we go. We'll verify it. Boom. So your job will be to complete this going down the other side and then coming back and stopping at the X0, Y0, Z10. So what we can do is I'm going to give you one more shot at looking at this. I need to go over 5 this time. So N50, 55, X goes to 45, and then at N60, Y comes down to 30. And now we should start our steps going back down. Now notice I took only 5 and put an M2. I took only a step of 5 here on purpose. So we'll verify it. There it is. And so you should be able to get it all the way down. So remember, we're still going over to the X, but we're counting down on the Y. So X is still going to go positive, but Y now is going to start to incrementally still be positive, but come back down from where it was. And you get this nice little design, which I will show you what it's supposed to look like. You need to finish the code and then bring it home. So at the end, it should end up back at, let's do N65 for me for right now. N65, I'm going to take Z back to 10. And then I'm going to go X0, Y0. So on N70, X0, Y0. Now, I've noticed how I You just have to leave a space in between them. It'll automatically pick it up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say, "This is the end of my program." So I'm gonna put that on N75 M2, and that'll shut down everything. So let's see what happens. We'll clear the block and we will verify. Yep, work for me. Your job is to get it done all the way. So thank you.